All right. If you could go ahead and just introduce yourself for everybody.
Yeah, so my name is Devin Schell, and I run a cleaning business in West Palm Beach, Florida. I started it about 5 months ago now. I've been using Booking Koala the whole time, and so far everything's been great, and I've been really happy with the experience. And I've learned a lot. I've made some money, so it's all going well.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear. So, Devin, where were you born? Where'd you grow up? Are you from Florida originally or?
No, so I born in Montreal. My whole family's originally from Canada. And then when I was about 2 years old, dad got a job in New York City. Mom wanted an adventure, so we moved down to New York, and I grew up in Scarsdale, New York. And I grew up there all the way up until then I went to college. Went to college, came back, and then just in last November, I kind of was making that decision: do I want to move to New York City, which is like very trendy for people from Westchester, New York, to do, or do I want to do something else? And I had some friends down in West Palm Beach, and I kind of was like, I want the weather. I don't want to spend as much money. Let's do something different. So I just decided to move down here.
Awesome. So, as a kid, what were some of your favorite things to do?
I was a big hockey player. That was my sport. I grew up playing travel in high school. After high school, there's something that we do, like only hockey players do, which is weird, is you take years off after high school and you play. It's called junior hockey. And so before even going to college, I took a couple of years off and just worked and played hockey. And then I ended up going to school in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. So yeah, that was my like childhood, I guess. Besides hockey, I just worked out, did other sports, and then I was a big hustler from like a young age. I love making money and trying to do whatever I can to make more money than my friends.
Okay, so you were kind of just pushing on, trying to push things onto your hockey friends and see what you could sell them, or is it products, or what were you hustling as a kid?
So when I was really young, it was like I found out that I could like go around just do all my neighbors like all the stuff that every kid does, like lawn mowing, all like picking up leaves, gardening work, all the stuff that my parents set up for me to do, which I was happy to do because I kind of like the idea of earning my own money when not everyone was working. I like maybe to be different. I like have it to spend it. The thing that I think I started with that, like I would say where like my entrepreneurial self like started was in middle school. A lot of kids have done this, but like shoes were a big thing, like Jordans, Nike SBs, all that. And I saw everyone into that, and so I kind of wanted to. And I ended up there was a time when I had 15 pairs of shoes. There was a lot of trading and buying and selling going on at school. I went to the sneaker cons kind of stuff to buy and sell stuff there. So that was my first kind of venture into entrepreneurship was doing the shoes, and then if you want like my whole like I've done a lot of buying and selling in my life, but I kind of switched over from like shoes to I got into camera gear and all this stuff was stuff I was interested in like wearing or using. So I knew the market really well, and it was all
Gotcha.
focused on me getting the best stuff. So like starting with the worst and buying and selling until I have the best stuff. And so moved on to camera gear. Um, did a bunch of eBay flipping in high school. Then during COVID, my big break was like gym equipment. I was one of the guys that was flipping gym equipment. I realized really early on that we're in this for the long haul, and everyone's going to want to work out at home. So like I was calling every gym within 20 miles of me and like trying to buy all their stuff in bulk, buy all the used stuff, and like all of COVID, I was like just driving around like Southern New York, picking up stuff and then driving to somewhere else's house and dropping it off. So I've always
Oh
kind of
well,
like yeah, had that bug to just like make money and see if I can like see what I can do with it. Let's see how high I can grow that.
awesome. So, when I guess when you were a kid, did you rather want to play hockey when you were like when you wanted to grow up, or did you want to go something more business related, or neither?
Oh, I completely wanted to play in the NHL. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, when you're young, of course, you want to be like
Right.
a pro athlete. But I think as I got older, as I got through my years of high school, I kind of realized like my cap is probably going to be college. And so I think my focus kind of stayed on hockey because college hockey, compared to a lot of other sports, you get like you can't just play it part time and get in because there's not that many teams. I think Division 1 and Division 3 total, there's like 125 teams, and
Oh
so
well.
my I think my focus was still on that. But I kind of always realized that probably not going to go to the NHL unless something changes. So, but I don't think I knew what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to go to college, study business, and then go from there, kind of thing.
Okay. And is anyone in your family a business owner?
My dad ran a consulting company for I think 8 years. He started his own, and then my grandparents actually own like a coffee decaffeination and coffee storage plant up in Montreal.
Oh wow.
So that's always been something where on my mom's side of the family, like you're always seeing them like working a lot, and we've been to like it's a pretty big factory, and I had to work in it when I was younger too. I got forced into it, um, into like the hard labor stuff, which taught me like go to college. And I was like, I don't want to be the hard labor guy after doing that. But
that's
it was
how
always
that's how
around.
that's how you could get around it. When your parents own the business, that's how hard labor. They just they get the kids to work for free.
Oh, I was just going up. My parents weren't even there. I would go up to Montreal for like 2 weeks, stay at my grandparents' house 2 or 3 weeks, and just be going like they bought me steel toe boots, and I was just going in and like carrying like giant 60-pound bags of coffee and lugging them around this plant. And I was like, I can't do this the rest of my life. I gotta figure something else out. But the influence was always there, and I think as I got older, it went from like my grandparent, like just like seeing them own a company to like I want to learn about the company. I want to learn what you guys do, like how it works, all that stuff. So it became more interesting as I got older.
And they still have it now.
Yeah, they still have it now, and yeah, it's getting pretty big. And my uncle runs it now, so really good to just like whenever I see him, like it's interesting now to talk about the business stuff that I didn't want to talk about when I was younger, when I was focused on hockey or sports or other stuff. So it's a good transition to be able to talk to him about that.
Do you ever stop by from time to time to lug around those bags again for old
No,
time's
never.
sake?
I no, I don't think I'll do that. I'm up in Montreal a couple times a year, so I see everything, but I'm not touching it anymore.
Okay,
I'm
so
past that.
that's good. What's talk to me a little bit about your experience and background? What like your major in college and things like that?
So I went into college, and I think from my grandparents, I knew I wanted to do business. I had a couple friends who went like pre med, and I thought about it, but science isn't my thing. So I decided I wanted a business degree, and I was kind of foolish at the time. I didn't really look into it. I was just like, oh, I think finance is a normal business degree to go get, which I think I should have done like business administration or looked into it a bit more because I don't really like finance, but I did it, and I graduated with a finance degree and left college thinking I never want to work in finance. So that was what I studied. Looking back, honestly, I don't think I learned like a crazy amount from I think you can learn finance in like a year and they spread it over 4 years, like the majority of things. But
Yeah.
I played for the hockey coach I played for there, his all of his family is coached at West Point. And
Oh well.
so what was really instilled in me is he kind of ran our hockey team like a military program our first year, which was good and bad, but it was like up at 5 or 6 a.m. every morning, Monday through Saturday, like very strict. You got to be clean shaven, kind of thing. So I think that looking back, I actually learned a lot from hockey more than school, just in terms of like growing and discipline and working hard and all that stuff. So, um, which is like I guess a good benefit. Like I didn't make the NHL, but I learned a lot from the sport when I left it.
It's crazy how sports are like that versus school, where you go to class and teachers are just whether reading out of the book or just teaching out of their lesson plan. But with sports, the coach is like, we have a goal here and we got to achieve that goal by everybody, working hard and doing everything together. So business is more related to sports, and
Oh,
whereas school is just kind of preps you a little bit for it, but I feel like sports preps you even more. So
yeah,
now
no, I completely agree. Like I learned
let's
so much more from sports. Sorry.
no, you're fine. Yeah, I ran track and cross country, and I swam basketball. Like I've done everything, and I feel like I've learned so much more about business within sports than I ever did going to business school. So
Mhm. Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about your business. Why did you end up starting it? Why did you want to start a cleaning service?
So I actually work a full time job while running my cleaning company. And luckily that job's remote. Luckily it's in sales, which is like I actually joined it because I wanted to learn a lot there too. And so at the start, I actually went and like I was living at home after college, like a lot of people do, and I was getting restless. And I took those years off from hockey. I was a little older when I graduated, and so I was like, I'm a 25-year-old guy living at home. I got to do something. So I went and lived in Portugal for like 3 weeks. I was just like, I'm just going to go do something else. And so I went there, and I remember going through Twitter when I was there, and I saw this guy Jordan Curls, 60 tweet thread on a cleaning company, and I read through it when I was there, and I was like, this is actually really interesting. Starting a small business, like it looks doable. He did it with subcontractors, and so obviously I was in Europe at the time, so I texted it to myself. I do that with like anything I find interesting, and like right when I came home, I looked at it. He was still posting stuff. It looked like it was get going or it got going. So then I started following more people that had a cleaning company, and I kind of was just like, I've wanted to start my own business. Like I'm learning a lot in my other job, but like I have some time that I can put towards this. So I just decided, why not? Like, what's the worst that happens?
Awesome. And when did you start
I started it November 13th. I looked all this up today. So November
it?
13th is when I got booking Koala, and I was like, let's do this.
Awesome. And do you remember how much you invested first? Roughly how much you put into getting everything going?
Yeah, not that much. I think I put like $200 or $300 in to start. I got the $57 plan from you guys. I got the domain, which was what, 20 or $30. Um, I waited on insurance until I did my hiring and stuff like that because I didn't want to spend an extra month on insurance when I was just making like building my website and stuff like that. But
Sure.
besides those costs, I think like I use Google, their business email and platform like that. And I got two emails like, so I have a customer service one and my personal email. So it really wasn't a lot, like $200 to $300 to start.
Okay. Let's see here. So how much revenue have you done since when did you get your first booking and where are you at currently?
So November 13th, got booking Koala, started building my website, doing my market research, figuring out like, getting my LLC, all that stuff too. December 13th was the first booking I got. Surprisingly, at that time I was just on Thumbtack for it. Surprisingly, that booking came from like a Facebook post I did, and so December 13th is when I started. Now I have $35,000 in revenue, and then that's over 178 bookings.
Wow, so you have 178 bookings since
December
basically
13th.
this year. Basically this year, a little more than that, and
Yeah,
you've done over 30K collectively so far.
yeah.
What are you projected to do for the whole year?
Honestly, I didn't plan that out. I guess if I've done 35K, I know I did 30 grand from January to March. So I guess for Q1, 30 grand, multiply that by four, 120 grand would be nice. Um, I feel, yeah, I guess that would be my projection. Like I haven't looked into it that much. My goal is to just, like, I'm trying to move away from more paid stuff and just trying to build my organic growth right now. So I'm actually like going lower in bookings this month, but higher in profit. So I would say like around 120 grand in revenue. But again, my goal is now to like still start pulling some profit from the business.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about your hiring funnel. What does that look like? Are you running the independent contractor model, employee model? Give
Yeah,
us
I
a
do the
little about
independent
that.
contractor model. Just like I don't know a lot about the employee model. I feel like I'd have to have more expensive insurance. I think you have to pay for workers' comp, like cover their gas. All like it just seems simple to do the independent contractor route. Using you guys, the way I explain it to my independent contractors, like in my like when I'm trying to hire them, is it's like really similar to like Uber in terms of like you give them the decision if they want to take a job or not. We were able to provide all the information, so it's very simple. Like I can have like a bunch of cleaners on the back end and book a job, and I know someone will take it because I've hired out to all my areas and I pay pretty well. In terms of how I hire, I use mostly Indeed and Facebook at the start. I tried like Monster and ZipRecruiter, and I felt like they were pretty useless. Not a lot of people came in. They were expensive. I used their free trials, but like afterwards, like they were trying to charge you over $100 a month to hire people. And then I write a very specific job posting, like everything up into like the pay that my cleaners get, how the 1099 works, like everything is written in my job posting because I want them to know beforehand. And then when I'm looking at resumes, I think that if people have an organized resume, they care more. And like we're doing cleaning, so like I don't want someone to just like I've seen some crazy resumes come in. Like I've seen like people just write out like paragraphs about themselves and not a resume. I've seen people write just like 4 words, just like have cleaned before. It's
Oh
crazy what
God.
people do. So like I look for like give me a real resume so I know that you can do that. And then I love people who reach out before. I let Indeed on Indeed especially like they like if you put that thing up, these people can call you or they can message you beforehand. So I love that. Maybe you're not a good cleaner, but it shows you they'll take initiative. And so I'll definitely look into it a little bit more. And then once I find people that I like, I reach out to them, try to set up a phone interview, and I get 3 referrals from them. Save them until after the interview, but I just like to have them, make sure they have them beforehand. And then I do a phone interview. I have a good amount of questions that like I kind of made myself and got off Twitter. Twitter's like my biggest coach here. And then after that, I book if like all is good. I book my cleaners for a test clean. I do it at my place, and I don't tell them it's a test cleaning because I live in an apartment building, and so it's a couple barriers where they think they've like I'll put them on the Booking Qual app, and it's really like I want to see how they handle like everything because you can't park in my building, so you have to park on the street. So I want to see like I tell them I'll cover the street parking in the payment or like it's covered in the payment. I put it under my roommate's name so they don't know it's me, and I want to see like can you go into the building? Can you talk to the front desk person? You're like we've got it written down so you can go up, but are they able to handle themselves and get up and
Right.
punch in the code? And then on top of that, like it's my place, so I can see how they do. And I also selfishly take before pictures and make my place a little bit like I mess my bed up a little more than usual and like try to put stuff in a little bit different areas. And then I take after pictures to know what they could do before and after. And then it's good marketing as well, like using my own place and
Absolutely.
knowing I go from like a really gross place to like a nice place.
And
So
I'm sure your roommate's happy.
yeah, no, I mean, he gets free cleanings, so it's all it's all good for him. But after that, yeah, if all goes well, I background check him and I tell him everything's good to go. I have a contractor agreement that I wrote up, kind of pulled some stuff from other people, and then I built like a document on Canva for them just to understand everything and like since they're independent contractors, what our suggestions are rather than like what our requirements are for cleaning. Like this is what we would like, and this is what we're like telling people that we offer. And so I send all of that over, and then we're good to go. And I try to get them going as fast as possible.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about marketing now. What are those strategies, successful tactics? I know you said that you're doing Facebook ads. Did you say?
Oh
Or
no, I'll hire on Facebook too. Like I'll post in the
okay,
groups. Like that's my other hiring way. Posting groups. I've gotten a couple really good cleaners from that because people refer their cleaners, but they have like 1 day a week. Because those people need more work. So I think that you can get really good people from Facebook. But my for marketing, my big ones to start was Thumbtack because I heard all about Google LSA, but you needed 5 reviews, and I felt selfish and kind of guilty faking the reviews, even though I think a lot of people do that. And you need 5 to get on to even start advertising. So I went on Thumbtack and I built out my profile, and this was pretty much just December. Like that, this is where I got all my bookings from, and I sat next to my phone because Thumbtack doesn't turn off. And as soon as a direct lead came in or a lead request came in, I called that person within like 30 seconds and said, "Hey, saw this," and like underquoted them a bit on like the Thumbtack suggested price. And so that's how I booked. I had a really good percentage that month for like the small amount of calls I got, but that's how I booked stuff originally. And then once they did it, I asked for them to review me on Google. And so I was able to transfer those Thumbtack leads over to Google and eventually built up to Google LSA my second week of January. And that's when stuff started kind of taking off. I think everyone sees that, or saw that, and I just put like an unlimited budget for the ads because I was like, I want to get first, and I feel like if I can close 50%, I'll stay even and I'll build a customer base that I can profit off of from the second, third, fourth cleanings. And so those are my two big marketing ways. Besides that, I got a giant lead list of real estate agents, sent a bunch of cold emails out. I have business cards that I hang up everywhere and hand out to people. And then in my apartment building, I posted in like the forum that we have, and I've gotten a couple cleanings from that. I just offer a discount if anyone wants it in the building. And yeah, that's really it.
Okay, nice. Um, Florida's got a lot of cleaning services. What have you done? Have you done research on them? You've seen what they're kind of doing?
My competitors, honestly, like I see them on Google LSA. Like I did market research at the start and like got prices. So I priced myself right in the middle. I'm not too expensive, but I'm not affordable. Things that make me stand out, I think my customer service is good. I think I relate really well to people that reach out. If someone calls me, like if I miss the call, they get a text right away and I call them back as soon as I can. If anyone's got any issues during the cleaning, I try to work with everybody always. I think I'm very personable on the phone, and I think that does make a really big difference. Like I've had to refund people before, but I've had people tell me that like you've done a it's not you. It's just like the cleaning wasn't to our expectation. Like no one's ever really got mad at me personally. Maybe that's biased, but I think that my customer service, and then I think me being able to outwork people. I think from sports, especially, like I learned like it's not that hard to work harder than people. So like if I'm like every day sending 40 emails out to different real estate agents and getting referrals to cleanings there, and if I'm answering every Google LSA call and I'm following up on everything, then I think I'm probably doing more than 99% of my competitors already. And yeah, no, that's probably I think what I feel separates myself. But I'm not really looking at my competitors that much. I'm focusing on myself.
That's smart. You notice how many of them have online booking forms?
I think two or three,
So not many.
not many at all. No.
So that's
So
another way that you're standing out from those guys.
yeah, and a lot of them have like they do quotes, but they have to do a walkthrough first. So I think a lot of people like I'm able to do a quick turnaround. I have enough cleaners where I get a
Absolutely.
call. I can get you someone tomorrow probably. And like some days, like if my cleaners don't have a cleaning, I'll text them like if I get something, do you want it today if it's close? And so like if I get a call, sometimes I can get something in like 2 hours. So I think that makes a difference too.
Awesome. How much time did you spend? I mean, I know it's not been crazy amount of difference, but from what you were doing in November time to what you're doing, were you doing more then? Were you doing more now?
I think I was doing bigger blocks of time spent in those early ages where like I'm trying to figure everything out still. Like yes, I've seen stuff on Twitter and I've done all my research. I read everything on Reddit. I watched all the YouTube videos. So like I knew what to do, but at the start it was a lot of learning and adjusting my emails and um my how like my prices. So and then building out the website, getting the LLC, getting everything set up. So I think I put a lot of upfront time in, and then come March, majority of my time is now spent on just answering the phone and getting people booked. I got a CRM as well, which helps me manage stuff. Like I have a lot of automations that go on, so I don't have to do a lot of stuff like review, follow up, what you guys do as well. But then like reaching out to uh past customers. Like I have a lot of stuff automated now, so that like my focus is customer service if something goes wrong and just book.
Okay. The two good things that you want to have is automate everything and then just working on getting more cleaners and getting more jobs.
Yeah, well, it's always that balance. I forget who I told this to, but it's like you want to like focus on marketing, but then like you feel overwhelmed because you have too much, and then you have to focus on hiring, and then that's over. Like I don't know, it just goes back and forth, and it's like, oh, I have enough people and I'm not getting enough work now. I need to market more, and I just go back and forth on like
That's
keeping that balance.
one of the things that almost everybody says during interviews is that issue. It's I don't have enough cleaners, so I got to market more. The
Yeah.
marketing is killing it, and I have too many bookings and not enough cleaners. So it's like, what's the happy medium? So, do you plan on hiring a VA in the future, or do you have one now?
It's just me right now. Again, I'm like, since I'm just answering the phones and doing the marketing, like I don't find that stuff hard. I can do that right now. I think in the future, like my goal is to become profitable. Like, I want to be able to pull like six. Like I am slightly profitable, but I put so much into Google LSA up front to build up like that customer base that, and you're really looking for recurring cleanings. I think in this business, I think that's where the money is. Um,
Absolutely.
Especially with Google LSA prices shooting up right now. Like, yeah, I just want to figure out how to get a lot of recurring customers, and then maybe I'll lower my marketing budget on LSA, on Thumbtack, and hire a VA if I can find an affordable one. But at the moment, I think if I can just pull like 4 or 5, 6 thousand a month from like in profit somehow, like that, I think I would want to get to that point before even hiring a VA. Like I'm okay working hard, but I I love making money. So and I hate giving money away. So if someone's doing something that I can do, or even I don't even know if I'd trust them at the start to close everything. So it's something I know I'll look into down the line. But I think at least through the summer, I'm going to do this on my own.
That's a that's the best way to look at it, because a lot of people are think, well, I feel like I should hire because then I could split up, you know, tasks that I don't want to do or mundane tasks and work on just growing faster. But how are you going to teach them if you don't go through it yourself? And two, what happens if you start losing some cleaners and bookings go down? You don't have money to pay them, so now you got to get rid of them and take on everything. So going too quickly in that route, also shooting yourself in the foot.
No, exactly. And a lot of people like talk about, I think a big thing in like social media, small business, kind of like that world in general is a lot of people talk about revenue, which of course is important. But I think like profit at the end of the day, like I don't want to just be working and not making any money every month and saying like, oh, I built this company to $120,000 in revenue and I have nothing to show for it. It's like, okay, I learned stuff and I know how to sell that, but I'd like to make some money in this as well. That's why I started the business. So if I'm pulling money away, I don't want to now like give it to someone else when they're doing something that I can do right now.
Absolutely. And is this your only business as of right now? Because you said you have your 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, so I do software sales remotely and then I do this business.
Awesome. Do you plan on opening another one later down the line?
I haven't thought that far yet. I think kind of just take it small steps. Like my goal is to hit like 20 grand in revenue for a month and then to start hitting that 5 to 6 grand in profit a month, which and like to build up like I have like recurring goals every month that I want to hit for how many new people book with us like as a recurring client. So I think like down the line, like I've listened to the guy who made Two Maids and a Mop. I've listened to podcasts on him and how he franchised everything out. Like it seems great, but I don't want to just dream right now. I'm just going to make like my small goals towards my big goals and then figure it out down the line and see where I am in a year from now, in 2 years from now.
So, talking about goals now, where do you see yourself and with the business in the next year, 5 years, 10 years?
Next year, definitely keeping the business, maintaining the business. I think like I can actually start doing the profit goals that I mentioned before, trying to get to that 4 or 5 grand a month. I think that's doable. If I do a good job and keep learning and keep hiring the right people and closing at a good rate, I think I'm on that trajectory. 5 years, I think I'm not really sure, honestly. Like, I know I really love traveling. Like I mentioned before, like I went to Portugal for a while and just stayed there. Like I've backpacked Europe before. So I know, like, I want to figure out a way to get this thing relatively automated so where I can afford to travel a little bit more. I want to do that in my 20s. I want to backpack a bunch more and like just live other places and be able to book, or maybe that's when I get the VA. So I know like that's my goal. And then from there, then I'll reevaluate and see what I want to do. But I haven't like looked really long term yet. I've always had the mindset like I want to make money, and if this collapses tomorrow, I learned a shit ton. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse, but
All right.
um, I learned a lot. So like right now it's like more short term than long term, like in terms of
Okay.
like what I've thought about.
Rough guess. What's a number that you want to hit by the end of this year, starting next year?
Per month.
Yes.
I think like if I could do like 20 to 25 and grand a month, I do think that's actually doable. Like I did nearly 13 grand last month, and that was my third month running Google. I'll say really like my third month actually all in on it. So I do think it's doable to get to 25, 20 grand a month by the end of the year if I keep focused, keep working hard, keep trying to grow, and don't get too frustrated because it definitely gets frustrating at times.
Absolutely. I think that's a very conservative number. I think you probably will surprise yourself and hit that maybe mid to late summer. Because anything, especially if it's summer, a lot of things pick up. So you never know if that happens, and you might be looking at double that by the end of the year, and you could start traveling a lot sooner.
Oh, that'd be great. My thing is, so I'm in like this is my first summer in Florida, so I know summer in Florida is an off season. So like I did better in March than I did in April, which I'm seeing a lot of people are saying that. I don't know why there was that switch. I think part of it's like Google will say less leads are coming in, so it's kind of adjust and change what you're doing a bit. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going into an off season or not. Like so far, I've gotten a good amount of calls. It's only the second day of May, but it's yeah, I just got to figure that out. But I think yeah, I do think that there's that possibility with like there's always going to be people that need clean homes, and like it's like compound growth if you build that recurring client base kind of thing. Like I'm going to
Absolutely.
go like this and my revenue, and like I even noticed that now. Like, every month is going to get more and more for the most part because I have those clients already booked, and then I have my ads bringing in more clients.
It is with Florida having the snowbirds leaving for summer, going back to wherever they're normally from. That could be a good amount of your customer base leaving, but if you start getting referrals and using a referral system to get the people that are staying full time or year round, that recurring base is going to keep you afloat longer. So,
Yeah,
have you
exactly.
with Booking Ball in terms of that? How long have you been using us to when you wanted to start your cleaning service? Were you looking at any other softwares, or were we the one stop that you did, and then you're like, all right, I'm just staying here?
You guys were the one like that was the one stop shop. Like I read the Guy Jordan Curls Twitter thread. I read a couple others. Everything mentioned Booking Koala, and so I never even like crossed my mind to go with another one or yeah another booking software. Like it just seemed like it had everything I needed. It's an affordable price. Everyone's happy with it, and then yeah, no, I never considered anybody else.
Awesome. Well, that's good news for us. So what kind of, I mean, I know you said it was mentioned in the tweet, but my next question, what drew you into using us and kind of why? I mean, was it just because it was so, I quote unquote popular that everybody was sharing about us? Or,
I think it was popular, and then you go through it and you guys offer everything. Everything is there for me to do. Like I can build it out how I need it done. Like it provides me the opportunity to have a website, to have automated text. It shows me how to do automated text messages, automated emails. The fact that I can just it's literally like I've never even used Uber as a like as a driver, but I've used it obviously to get picked up, and it feels so similar to that in terms of cleaning. Like I just have to book these cleanings, and someone picks them up. Like it's such a simple process. And then like if I'm just good at hiring, good at marketing, like I don't know, it always seemed like I mean I don't even know how the other companies do it. I haven't even looked into them. I'm just so happy with Booking Call. I wouldn't leave it.
awesome. So, what are one or two of your favorite features that you've been using?
I think the booking form, like I do a lot of my bookings just through my phone. So I love that I'm just able to like go to add a booking. I've got everything in there. My prices are in there. Like I can get somebody a price like that I can get them booked right away. So it's just super simple to do. Besides that, at the start, I think the website builder was really helpful. Like while you guys like, I didn't buy the premium templates or the expensive templates. Like it's really easy to customize that basic one and make it look really official right away. Like I showed my parents and my friends, and they're like, "That's your website?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my website." And they're all amazed, and they don't realize that I changed some colors and put some pictures in and like, put a booking form in. Like you guys just provide everything in such an easy way that I everything is helpful.
Awesome. I mean, what's one feature that we have that you couldn't live without if you had to? I mean, booking form aside, what's one of those internal features that is really helping you streamline everything, or whatever it may be?
Um, I think that like anything with providers is really helpful. Like I'm able to easily pay them thanks to like you guys like it makes everything so easy, like the forums that you have and the posts about how to do everything. So to connect to the Stripe and to be able to just pay my providers and it tracks the hours is really easy. I love the logs and like the reports, and I'm able to just see like everything and what I've done in the past, what I've done, or like what I need to do, like who I need to pay. So I think like anything with the providers, and again, able to just they're able to just pick stuff up. It's so easy to even onboard them through the platform, and like the app is easy to use. When I was at the start, I downloaded to learn how like to take a bunch of screenshots and show my cleaners how to use it. So it's just like everything's simple, but like so useful.
What's one feature that you wish we had, and why?
Um, two things that actually can I say two things? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
I think the leads, when a lead comes in, I get like a notification of a lead and it's just named like lead 13. I haven't looked into it that much, or lead 14, but to get like just the people's names in there rather than like the lead number, I think
Okay.
like just be nice. Like if I have like a couple leads come in, I forget their numbers really easy. So I got to click into them to then figure out like which lead this is and what did I say them kind of thing. Beside that, I don't know if you guys have this capability or not. Like I use it for what I use it for, but I told you I have a CRM and I just manage my past clients in there where I have them all on different email drips, whether they're recurring clients, one-time clients, clients that we lost. And that's email and text strips that they get monthly or bi-monthly. And so it's I don't know if you guys are able to do that where I'm able to take my past customers and
All in there.
it's all in there. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm very simple, but I definitely like, well, then never mind. I should look into it more. But like, that's really like, that's the only things I can think of.
Okay. Yeah, there is the I guess you would kind of say basic standard SMS and email notifications where it's your one-time list, abandoned cart list, and recurring. Um, and then we also have the email campaigns like MailChimp. So a complete separate section where you can have full automation of what you're sending, newsletters, and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah. I did MailChimp for a while actually. So I guess like that is, but I would go in, we go into mail. We do go into MailChimp when we do it, right? Or that part of it. Or I didn't know you could do it
No,
right in.
no, ours there is we released that recently. I believe it was in the last, I believe it was in the last year. Yeah, there's a whole email section that's exactly like kind of Mailchimp, but within the system. So you don't got to leave. It's all within your login.
Might have to just look into that. It might make things easier because I'm like bound. I didn't even realize that. Again, I'm very like simple in what I do, but yeah, I got to look into that for sure because I think I was going into Mailchimp. So, but I think that that's also just like super important is to take advantage of your past customers. Like that's like any way to do that is key.
Absolutely, yeah. What, especially in cleaning, when if you have only a bunch of one times, it's it's super hard to grow. It's That's more similar to like a product service. How many times can you sell, a mug to somebody or a pair of sunglasses before they buy again. It has to break or whatever. Whereas services is you sell them once and you could hook them up for recurring very quickly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even the people who don't do recurring, I think if you stay in their inbox, they're low hanging fruit, and they just keep seeing your name, and you do a good job. Like I get texts from people who aren't in my recurring clients that are asking for more cleanings, so that helps too.
Focusing more residential cleaning, or do you do any commercial as well?
I do residential in Florida. There's no, unless I'm wrong on this, but I think I'm right. There's no income tax on residential house cleaning, but there is income tax on commercial cleaning.
I see.
So, and I think that it's very easy to hire cleaners. Like a lot of people have worked in the residential area. I feel like it's easier to hire residential cleaners who have like residential cleaning equipment rather than hiring commercial cleaners. I think the equipment or the supplies is a bit different. So I just kind of stick to what I know. I think in the future I do want to look into commercial because you can lock in contracts and there's more consistency in when you're cleaning. And I think it looks like it pays more. So it's definitely something down the line that I want to look into seriously, but I just haven't got there yet.
And what's your general area that your business is in?
I cover all of Palm Beach County. So I hired like a car brought on a couple cleaners that are south of me, a couple cleaners that are north of me, and West Palm Beach is kind of like right in the middle. So I got a couple cleaners right in the middle. So I know if I get a call, I can probably service it no matter where it is. So that's like an hour top to bottom of the county, but I have people scattered everywhere. So like someone will always find it close to them.
And how many cleaners do you have?
I think we just went down to seven. And now I'm trying to hire two more. I want to get up to like nine or 10 to really like make sure that I can service everything. I don't like getting a call and telling someone, let me call you back and see if I have someone available. I'd rather just book everything.
Are you looking to expand anytime soon to a different city in Florida or possibly even a different state?
No, I want to try and get like 100 good reviews in West Palm Beach and be like the company in West Palm Beach. Like I think I can outwork everyone. I just, the hardest thing, which I've told like a couple of people that I've spoken to, like I have a bunch of friends who, since I've done this, they want to start service-based businesses, and I've suggested them booking koala, all that stuff. But the hardest thing is dealing. Like I can do everything right, and if I hire poorly, or if a cleaner's unhappy on one day, or a cleaner doesn't read something right, they're not the ones getting screwed. Usually, it's usually me. So I think I have a hard time dealing with when other people mess up or when I have to refund. So I think that like I want to focus on like hiring the best people, and I think I have a couple really good ones right now. But like if I can just expand having really good cleaners in an area that I'm in already and just dominate that area, that's my goal.
Awesome. So you mentioned your friends trying to start a service-based business. Some words of encouragement that you would give them or anybody else who's going to be watching this. What would you? Because you were in those shoes, very recently. You were on the fence then. What would you give some advice to them?
I would say don't think about it, do it. Love to think, people love to plan, people love to spend 2 or 3 months getting their website ready. It's like the hardest part is doing it. Like whether it be like interviewing or booking or like dealing with stuff, like just take that step and do it. And then and the worst case scenario is you lose a little bit of money and you learn so much from it. Like that's how I've always looked at it, as like I think at one point in my life, like I want to start like a startup company or something like that. And this is a great way to just learn so much about marketing, SEO, dealing with customers, hiring. Like you get to touch everything when you start a business on your own. And so like just do it and don't think about it and don't say I'm going to do it. Like just start today rather than just talking about it.
And that's another thing with business. You are always learning every single day. So it's not like you're going to learn everything beforehand, start it, get into it, and know everything. Success is trial and error. You're going to fail. So you're just kind of delaying I guess, the satisfaction and yet the dread at the same time. Because
No, exactly. And like at the start, like I'm really happy that I started. I'm really happy that I just went in on it. And like I don't think I hired well at the start. I don't think like I did the best job reaching out to people. Like I learned like for the first 3 months I never asked a customer how they're cleaning or for the first 2 months. Like I've been learning every day. Like I have like a Twitter devoted to like small businesses and like SEO again, SEO stuff like that. And so it's like I'm always able to learn and then like adjust, learn and adjust. I adjust my emails a little bit. I put new stuff into my emails so that customers don't get confused. I put something in on how we expect their house to be when they arrive. I didn't do that at the start. It's just always a learning experience. And you're always going like there's always gonna be something new that comes at you. So like I think I'm like very confident. I think that I can always make money. So I'm not worried about losing the money I have here because I'll just have like so much experience that I can turn that towards something else so I don't fail next time if that happens.
awesome. Devin, again, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. And everybody at Book and Qual wishes you and your company the best. And for the long haul, we hope you're with us.
Yeah, thanks. I don't see myself leaving. You guys are great. You guys, without you, I wouldn't have a cleaning company. So thank you so much.